Hi guys, my throat hurts because the BTS concert was yesterday, so I'm sorry if you can't hear me very well. Change of background, I'm in my room. I don't feel like going downstairs. I will be drinking throughout the video because my throat hurts really bad, but I wanted to make a video about the concert yesterday and what exactly was going on. And what's most likely going to happen now. So yesterday, as most of you guys know, was TRB in NYC, the red bullet for BTS. And for the past week or so, Namjoon and BTS have been getting a lot of hate and have been bothered a lot by an interview that happened in Australia somewhere. I don't know if it was specifically Sydney, but it was in Australia. I know that much. Where the members were asked, what was your first impression of your other members? And to which Namjoon responded, B and J-Hope, they were too black. I couldn't see them when it was dark. Now, as most of you know, being dark, although it has always been considered a negative thing in Korea, most of us who know BTS know that they don't, on the surface, at least from what I can tell, they're a lot less concerned with skin color than their company is, because they obviously have a lot of black fans. They obviously have, especially from AHL, they have an understanding, I won't say an interest, but an understanding and an appreciation for black people or people with any sort of pigment in their skin. And they're not anywhere near as anti-melanin as the rest of their country. And I would even go so far as to say that some of them probably would overlook it if the person was nice, or if they find the girl or guy or whatever attractive and all of that kind of stuff. I feel like they would be the idols that would be like, I don't really care. But that's just my 2 cents. So yesterday, armies were lined up outside the Best Buy theater since before 4 in the morning. Even though we were told there was no pre-8 a.m. lineup, people were out there. And I'm not hating at all. That's your prerogative, do you? But when I first got there, I was like, oh, I'm gonna be at the end of the line. It's gonna be so long. I'm gonna end up being in the back. I actually ended up meeting a friend of mine that was closer to the front of the line, and she was like, well, at the time I thought it was close to the end of the line, so she was like, hey, just come stand with me. And I was like, okay. So we had our own little crew, and we stood together until they separated VIP plus, VIP, and general admission. And it was fine because there were 3 of us that had VIP plus and 1 or 2 girls that had regular VIP, but that was fine. We all hung out and chilled together, and it was really, really fun. I mean, it was hot and sweaty and exhausting because we were standing and then we were sitting, and then we had to get up once we got comfortable so that we could move the line along, and then we sat down again because it got too hot to stand up and blah, 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 blah. So it was constantly up and down, moving and all that stuff. But then once we finally got separated, we were in this little barricade underneath the in this little entranceway, and it was really cool actually, because we actually saw Michael from Mr. Popo TV. He was walking around a couple of times, and so that was cool. That was a cool thing that happened. We saw him, and I said hi, and he was like, oh, hi, and all that stuff, and he was really nice. So it was really interesting seeing him. I don't think he went to the concert, or if he did, we didn't really see him. But it was really, really, really cool to see Mr. Popo there. Because, who gets to say that they saw Mr. Popo at TRB in New York City? the people that were in VIP Plus too. Oh, my throat really hurts. So we sat down for a while. It was colder underneath the like entranceway thing because there was shade, so it was like colder there. So we were all happy. Everybody was sitting down. Like, everybody was sitting down. We were so tired and sleep deprived. And people had to pee. People needed water. People needed food. People started passing out because we were just so exhausted. And, like, it was like, insane. Like, the only thing I could possibly think of that will come close to it is, like, the crazy One Direction and Justin Bieber fans. But it was really fun. And, like, people were giving out, like, fan stuff. Like, they had fan signs for, like, just one day and blanket kick. And there was another one, I forget. But they had, like, fan signs, and they had, like, some people were giving out buttons. Some people were giving out, like, cutout pictures. Some people had, like, fans that they'd made with, like, people's face on it. People had necklaces. People were wearing Red Bullet, like, t-shirts and BTS, like, jerseys and everything. And you could just see, like, the love in all of the armies at the concert before it even started. And, like, as the concert, like, it was, like, 4 hours, 3 hours, 2 hours. Oh my god, I said an hour. And it was hitting people at a slow pace. It never really hit me. It never, like, even after the concert started and ended, I was still like, it was BTS. And if you guys know me, you guys know that I, like, love BTS, like, especially Kim Namjoon. That's, like, my bae, like, But anyways, so we finally get up and we're allowed to go in. They're like, put your drinks in the thing. You're not allowed to bring drinks inside, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I have a closed bottle of Gatorade. I haven't been drinking anything all day. Can I please just take it in with me? It's not open. The lady even checked it. It was not open. She's like, you can't bring it in. This bottle of Gatorade was like this tall. It was like one of those big bottles of Gatorade, and it was closed. It was cherry Gatorade too. It was closed. I was so upset. She made me throw it away. Actually, she just took it. Now, as you guys know, I made notebooks for all the members, and then I made a special notebook for Namjoon. I made a card. Well, I wrote a thank you card to the whole band, and I made me and Namjoon matching hats. Yep. So I was like, oh, I'm so excited. Oh, I'm so excited. And, like, I guess other people bought fan gifts and stuff. Because I later found out they were like, oh, fan gifts put in bins over here. And I was like, oh, cool. So I was like, I'll just give him his hat during high touch and then talk to the event organizer about getting the notebooks to them some other way. Wasn't too worried about it. Then, so we got inside, VIP Plus got inside, and we got these wristbands. I haven't taken mine off yet. It just says TRB in USA VIP Plus. And then, like, people were giving this kind of stuff out. So that was cool. I was like, okay, so I have a wristband, not like some shitty little paper wristband. Because, you know, sometimes they have these shitty little paper wristbands, and then when you get in the pit, that thing comes off. Like, no, this is like that real, like, this is like that. You can't get this off no matter how hard you try. You need to cut it kind of plastic. So what ended up happening was we were standing in line. It was cool. There was a girl that had the, you know, everyone knows those not glow, but like light up sneakers that like at least one star in every K-pop band has. They're like Nike. They look like regular, like old school white, all white Nikes, but the bottom is like when it's off, it just looks white. But then when you turn it on, it's like the entire thing glows, but you can see like all the LEDs that's in it, and like it glows different colors and stuff. And one girl had those on, and she just turned on one. Everyone was like, oh my god, I love your shoes. And I'm like, making me feel unimportant. And I had like happy birthday and then my birthday, because I was like, when I meet them, they're gonna be like, oh, happy birthday. So everyone gets in, and one of my friends is like really short. She's like 4'9". She's a little tiny one. And we were like, can we get her to the front? Like, me and another girl were trying to get her as close to the front as possible because she couldn't see. She was so short she couldn't see. And then, I'm not gonna lie, I was also trying to like scoot up with her and be like, I need to be with her so I can protect her because don't none of y'all give a crap. So I got up to like the third row from the barricade, and she was in like the second row from the barricade, technically. I mean, she made her own little cubby hole. But I saw that all of the armies were like super excited, and like every time somebody walked across stage, everyone started screaming. I was like, this is like that one episode of SpongeBob. It was so funny. But they didn't scream for the lady, which made me a little upset. I was like, ah. And while I was waiting in the thing, I made a couple of other new acquaintances. That was cool. But like, I could not breathe. Everyone was just so like on top of each other. I'm like, it's not even started yet. What are you doing? People were already pushing. People were already like elbowing me in the rib cage and in the stomach and in the back. And I got hit in the back of the head. People's arms were on top of my head. It was really bad. It was really annoyed. And like, my throat was really hurting because you guys know how loud I am. I was like that for 12 hours. I was like that, running around, singing, joking, rapping, screaming, yelling, and just kind of being myself for 12 hours. It wasn't a big deal. But then once I finally got in there, I was like, oh, my throat hurt. And it was really sudden, too. I was like, maybe my throat's just dry. I need some water. They were giving out water. Like, the security had, like, a bottle of water. They were pouring it in people's mouths. And I was like, can I have some water? And they eventually passed the water back to me after, like, waiting for, like, almost 45 minutes. Finally got water back to me, and I was like, oh, it's so much better. And I, like, kept fanning myself with my hat. And I was like, alright, this is ridiculous. And then the VCR started. It was a commercial. And they were like, ah! And everyone surged for it. And I was like, oh my god. And then they were like, oh, it's a commercial. And everyone chilled. And then it happened again. And then they started playing music again. And then the same commercial came on again. Everyone surged forward and then chilled. And I was like, oh my god, please stop doing this. This is painful. So eventually they did. They stopped doing it. And the 8:05 hit, all the lights went down. And then lights shone back up and nothing. And they were still playing like music. And everyone like surged forward and then chilled. Now, every time I say that they surged forward and then chilled, it was like they surged forward like a couple of inches and then everyone stopped when they realized that it wasn't BTS. And they did that like 3 or 4 times to the point like I was touching everybody that was directly around me. There was like no way for me to avoid that. It was really annoying. So, oh, that sounds better. So, that finally started, but they just played a VCR, and it was the VCR from all the other Red Bullets. Well, there's only one other Red Bullet since this is episode 2. They played the same VCR from TRB Part 1. And I know that because Namjoon's hair was white, and he looked like a toasted marshmallow. It was really interesting. It was fascinating. And like Suga's hair was still like that red pink color, and I was like, oh my god. So BTS starts, everybody surges forward, and they're not even out yet at this point. Like the VCR was like 2 or 3 minutes long, and everyone's like pushing and shoving, and I'm like, damn it, they're not out yet. Calm the hell down. People give me dirty looks, and I'm like, I'm sorry, you're just hella stupid. And so BTS finally comes out, and it just gets worse. The pit was insane. Like, I can't tell you how, like, the girl that was directly in front of me, her and her friend that were standing beside them, had both of their hands up. Now, they had big heads with a lot of loose hair, and they had both their hands up on the sides of their heads. And I'm like, I can't see. And the entire time I was like hinting at them that they need to make some room for other people to see, especially since I was shorter than a lot of people there. And I was like, come on now, please. No, they didn't move. It took me pushing the girls' heads to the side, grabbing their arms and pulling them down, saying, put your damn arms down. I can't see. I'm like 10 seconds from throwing bows right now. And like the girl kept looking back at me and like giving me dirty looks. And I'm like, I don't care what you are or who you think you are. I will throw down right now. Look at me like that again. She did not. She put her arm down. And I was like, okay. And then the fan came up and I was like, look. I was like, this was bad. I was like, look, if one more thing goes wrong tonight, I'm throwing down in the middle of this pit. Like, I'm going down and I am starting to punch the back of knees, climbing over people and going in front of the barricade. I don't even care. Like, I don't care. You can kick me out. I don't care. I'm like seconds from throwing bows at this point. And I was. So it was real exciting. Like, we're like, oh my god, they're out. Woo, woo, woo. They didn't know first. I was like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, everybody sing down. It was so great. I was like, ah, 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 ah. And like everyone around me was like 10 times worse because my throat already hurt. So I was just like, everybody sing no. Like in my normal, everyday, not straining my vocal cords kind of voice. And I had Namjoon's hat, and I was like I had his hat, like the bill was like right here, and then I had my hand inside the hat so that they could read it and see it. And I was close to the front, and Rap Monster, Jin, and I think J-Hope all like kept looking in the direction of the middle of the crowd, but looking like directly above it. So I don't know if they were looking at the banners and stuff and like posters and stuff, or if they saw my hat or not. But I did see Namjoon smile a couple of times, and I saw J-Hope laugh like every time they like looked. So I don't really know what was happening, but everybody was recording. Like, everybody was taking pictures and recording. Like, I'm sorry. I'm not sorry, though. But everybody, like, had their phones out or, like, a camera or whatever. Like, they weren't even being sneaky. Like, halfway through, it wasn't even like, oh, let me do it. Like, no, they were just like, hey. So, they did know. They did. Like, you guys can find the set list on All K-Pop. But they did know. They did, We're Bulletproof Part 2. They did like all the songs and they were like talking and it was so cute. Oh my god, they did Blanket Kick and they did Blanket Kick and I was like, oh, Blanket Kick. And then Suga's part came and you know how they go, and then the ones in the back go, and then they go do 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 do, yeah, and then they do like the fake kiss thing. So Namjoon and J-Hope were adorable. They were just like you. If you guys remember in Shiny's Hello Baby, Jonghyun and Key would go Yopo. It was like that. And they just like looked at each other. And then who was it? It was Jungkook and Jin. Yeah, Jungkook and Jin. No. Was it Jungkook and Jin? It was Jungkook and Jin. And they were just like, it was really corny. Like, I couldn't really see them very well, but it was super corny, whatever they were doing. Because, like, a lot of people were laughing, and all I saw was, like, Jin get really, like he, like, made himself really small, and Jungkook's hands were, like, up or, like, around him or something. I don't, like, exactly remember. But what I do remember is J-Hope and Jimin looks like they were trying to swallow each other. because all you saw was J-Hope grab Jimin's like shoulders, and Jimin was like, and they were like this, but from the angle that I was at, it looked like their faces were like this. Like, it I was like, I'm not gonna judge, but leave that in your dorm room. So it was interesting. And then all you saw was Jimin start laughing, and J-Hope was just like he was so overly excited. It was so cute. So so she goes to the lake being all swaggy, and then they all surround him, and you guys know how the choreography for Blanket Kick goes. Then halfway through the concert, like literally right before, or like a song or so before Cypher Part 3 Killer, Namjoon comes out and he's like, guys, y'all gotta promise me something. Y'all are gonna stop pushing in the pit, because everybody in the back pushing forward is gonna make the people in the front suffocate. Y'all gotta be safe. Will you promise me that? And everyone's like, eh. And they just finally stopped pushing, which made me happy. I'm like, well, at least they listen to somebody. So everyone stops pushing. I can breathe more. And I have a little bit more room. I like ended up making my own barricade. Like I had my arms like in like this kind of circle, and I was just pushing people. And I was like, I need room to freaking breathe. And people were like pushing back in on me, and I was like, ugh. I was like Jungkook with the muscles at that point. I was like, argh. Was it pretty? People were getting mad at me. I was like, I'm sorry that I want to stay alive and I don't want to get trampled and suffocate and pass out. I apologize for being concerned about my well-being. So, Cypher. Oh my god. Like, I would, like, my back and my legs and my feet and my head and my throat and everything was hurting so bad the whole concert. Like, I was still, like, enjoying it and singing along and everything. When Cypher came on, it was a new one. Like, everyone started going in. Everyone, no matter what was hurting, no matter what was happening at that point, everyone was like, bitch, I don't care. You can't control my shit. Like, it was like a rap concert. Like, that's what it was. It was like insane. Oh my god. Like, everyone was bouncing and like moving at the same time, and like throughout the entire concert everyone was like doing the fan chants. Like, a lot of people were messing up the fan chants and just singing the whole song, but you could tell that like BTS was like, oh my god, they're trying to sing in Korean, they're trying to do the fan chants, they're trying to sing all the songs. Like, you could tell they were happy about that, but at the same time it was kind of like, just do the fan chant. Like, seriously, it's not that hard. Like, and we were all, and everyone was excited for I Need You, Dope, Hwangtan Boys, and, Hwangtan Boys, Fun Boys, and, no, Hwangtan Boys is Fun Boys, Rise of Bangtan, I meant, and, I Need You. Like, everyone was like, ah! Like, we were all like, they're definitely gonna do them. It was on the set list. Didn't happen. Like, they did I Need You, but they didn't do Choro, they didn't do Hwangtan Boys, and they didn't do Rise of Bangtan. Yeah. But, nonetheless, so, right after Namjoon's like, y'all need to calm down and stop pushing people, they do Cypher Killer, and I'm like, where's V? Where's V? Like, I knew V was somewhere. Like, getting it, like, so excited. Like, you knew he was like in the wings backstage, like watching, like so excited. Jungkook too, and Jimin's probably just like, y'all are crazy, and Jin's probably like, I'm gonna get water. Like, but then you have Jungkook and me, bitch, I don't care, you can't control my shit, you want to, stop it, killer. Like, you know that. Like, you know it. So, that was really good. But then afterwards, you could tell, like, a lot of people were like, ugh. Because it was just so loud, and then suddenly it was quiet. So, get halfway through the concert. All of that happens. They do the second half of the concert. And it was really cute and really funny. And Suga had to do Ego. So, they did this thing where they did rock, paper, scissors. And they actually said rock, paper, scissors. But they said, what did they say? You know how it's Kawi, Bali, Bo? Or Kawi. No, wait. Kawi, Bali, Bo. Kawi, Bali, Bo. Yeah. They said scissor, paper, rock. Not scissors, paper, rock. Or rock, paper, scissors. Scissor, paper, rock. And it was like, aww. And they're like, scissor, paper, rock. Scissor, paper, rock. And I was like, they gave up trying to say it. It was like so funny. So first Jin lost, and I was like, "Aw, Jin!" I'm like, somebody give him a chicken leg and make him do like funny things. Like, someone give him a piece of lettuce, and then you have to do is it looks like a little bunny. But so sorry, they're doing yard work outside my window, I guess. So originally, Jin lost to like everyone, and then they're like, you know what, we're gonna pick a second winner, and then during the song, I forget what song it was, during the song, where those two are gonna do rock, paper, scissors, and the loser has to do it. And everyone's like, alright. So they do it again, and Suga loses. He's like, and he just looks like an angry 3-year-old that got his juice box taken away. And don't even get me started on Suga right now. But how can I describe Suga's Aegyo? Like, everybody's seen it. Like, he just goes. With his little happy, like, butt wiggles and, like, full body thing. Like, it reminds me of when J-Hope does this thing. But it's, like, Suga version. So it's, like. And, like. And it's, like. If he's not asleep. Or, like, being all swig. Then he's, like, a cute puppy. And that's, like, all I literally could, like, think of. I'm like, you cute puppy. You cute puppy. And he was being a cute puppy. And it was so funny. Because it was, like, literally, like, they stopped in the middle of the song. And we're like, Kabai-bo! Ah! And she was like, ah! And then they're like, no, she said, as everyone else was singing, like, he was still, like, and it was so funny. And, like, everyone was, like, trying to get, like, recordings of Suga's Aegyo, and I'm sitting there, like, it's right there. Like, it's so different. Like, I kind of had wished that, that Ratmon had lost, because Ratmon sucks at Aegyo. His Aegyo is so painful that, like, if he had done it, then, like, the entirety of the pit probably would have just died of, like, grease overload. So, ooh, that was nice and loud. So, what ended up happening was Suga did his Aegyo, they ended the song, and then they did, oh my god, I can't even remember what it's called. It's not Special Girl, it's, Pretty Woman. You pretty woman. That song. And it was so cute. And I was like, oh my god. So, they did Pretty Woman. And I was really excited. And I was like, eh. And they, like, had the lyrics on the screen in the back. So, like, all the armies could sing along. And, like, BTS was like, They suck, but this is so funny. And like they were super excited that we were trying, I think. And like we were trying, and like you could tell, like we're like like we were trying to seem like we mumbled through some words, like some Korean words. We were like, we got this, and then the other one, so it was like the pretty woman, and like they just like could not keep themselves from smiling. It was so awkward. They were like sing, and all you hear was and they were like, I don't know what's happening, and then we smiled, pretty woman, and they were like, I'm done. It was so fun. And I think they were surprised that a lot of us were like rapping Killer with them. And I'm like, come on, it's Killer. And then, oh my god, they mix. Okay, so you guys know in Cypher Part 2 Triptych, the beginning, like J-Hope's beginning part is Negu Debane, Nugu Debane, J-Hope Debane, say Nugu. No, it's J-Hope Debane, Suga Debane, Raman Debane, like all that stuff. Negu Debane, J-Hope Debane, Negu Debane, Suga Debane, I say Negu Debane, Raman Debane, Tan Debane, like everyone was getting it. Like everyone was like, Negu Debane, Suga Debane, Negu Debane, J-Hope Debane, I say Negu Debane, Raman Debane. And then we were all like, bang tan debone, neku debone, and like they did that part twice, and then all you heard was harmono debone, doom doom doom, neku debone, doom 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 doom, and like you just heard that, and it was like, oh my god, they mixed the beginning / chorus of Triptych with War of Hormone, and it sounded so good. And I was really excited because like I saw on setlist that they were mixing the two, and I was like, are they gonna do the first verse and then do it, or are they just gonna repeat the Nikut Debone, Raman Debone, Nikut Debone, Hope Debone, Nikut Debone, Sugar Debone, Hormone Debone, and then go into it, or like what? But no, in the background, after they did Suga Debone, Raman Debone, J-Hope Debone twice, there's a part in the middle, like closer to the end of War of Hormone, where all of the boys go, Hamana Debone, but you mostly hear Jungkook, and that's the part that they played and floated into War of Hormone. Oh my god, shut up. Technical difficulties. So that was really fascinating. I was like, oh, this is so awesome. So then they did War of Hormone, and they were like, that thing, and I was like, Namjoon, stop. It was amazing. It was really, 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 really good. And I never knew who lifted up Suga. Like, I never really paid attention to it in War of Hormone. Jungkook was like he didn't even look bothered by carrying on Suga. And I'm like, Suga's not small. Like, he's short, but he's not a small dude. Like, neither is technically Namjoon. But most of his weight comes from him just being tall. But he's tall and skinny. Not that the other guys aren't skinny, because they kind of are. It's just Namjoon's like a twig. So, it was really, really, like, I was like, jeez, what? Jungkook? And like, you could tell that he was like using like 40% of his muscle to like carry him around, and then like put him down or whatever, and then they kept going. And I was like, J-Hope getting all excited, like in every song, unless it was like a ballad, J-Hope just, when it was his turn, he came right to the middle of the front, and he was like, and I was like, Hobie, I love you. You're such like a goofball. But, like, I feel like if I was Hobie, like, I would do the same thing. I'd go right to the middle and, like, go crazy. So, that was fun. Then they all went off stage. Like, I skipped some songs because, like, I don't remember everything. But, oh, I forgot to tell you guys about, We Are Bulletproof Part 2. They did it. They did it after they, like, changed clothes. And, you guys remember how a little while ago, like a couple of weeks ago or something, a lot of armies were like, oh my god, Jimin got rid of his abs, he lost all his abs, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, apparently he went back on his chicken breast only diet. And, like, you know how normally when people dance, their backs are straight? Well, Jimin did his little lift shirt thing during during We Are Bulletproof Part 2. And I noticed it before, but I just assumed it was how he danced. He had to arch his back to get his abs to show. And I'm like, that's better. Like, I would rather you do that than just constantly have your abs showing and not have, like, any sort of padding or anything on your stomach. Because I can guarantee you, if he was standing up straight, he wouldn't have had that. And because his muscles wouldn't have been, like, pulled really taut or anything. So he was probably, like, really tired after that. Because arching your back backwards, like in this kind of shape, put the strain on your back. And I'm like, but when he lifted up his shirt, a lot of the armies went crazy. I was like, oh, Jimin lifted his shirt. Like, I wasn't too necessarily concerned about it. Like, I primarily, like, during all the songs, I primarily watched Namjoon and Namjoon, J-Hope, and Suga. Mostly. Like, I don't mean to be rapper line biased. It just kind of happens. But, like, I don't really. Sorry, my mom texted me. But let's see. After War of Hormone and all of that, they went off stage and they were like, okay, thanks. They didn't say thanks. They were like, alright, that's done, bye. Like, everyone's like, okay, whatever. So they turn off the lights. They never close the curtain. They turn off the lights and BTS goes backstage. So went off stage and they came back out, like, maybe 5 minutes later. Like, they had to have enough time to, like, change clothes and get their makeup redone and wipe their sweat away because they were, like, dripping in sweat. Not that I was complaining that Namjoon was wet, though. Oh my god, that boy, it's the color. Okay, so you guys know Cinnamon Toast Crunch, right? You know the milk that remains after you eat all Cinnamon Toast Crunch? It's that color. I was like... And then Suga is, like, marshmallow color. I was like, boy. I couldn't. So they came back out and they also did Look Here, like in the concert, but they did one song from Dark and Wild. No, it was from Too Cool for School. I lied. I forget what it's called, but they did one song it was from one of those too. I think it was from Too Cool for School though. It could have been from Dark and Wild. I didn't listen to the song a lot. Like, I know it's when I hear it, I know it's a BTS song because Rap Monster actually sings in it, and I love when he sings. But what ended up happening was they cut Encore short. Yep, they cut Encore short, and they completely and just totally canceled High Touch. Why did they do these things? Because someone was stupid enough from Canada somewhere to say that they got a gun and it's going down, RIP Kim Namjoon, and then they hashtagged it, like official hashtagged it. They used the official TRB in USA, TRB in NYC hashtag, and hashtagged it with a picture of a gun. So someone in Canada just ruined TRB in the US for everyone. And this person decided that when Best Buy contacted them, that they would be like, oh, I was hacked. And then later say, oh, you guys can't take a joke. It was a joke. I live in Canada. I'm nowhere near you, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah, well, you can't do shit like that. Like, that's not a joke. We're not overreacting. Like, death threats are taken very seriously in America. In Korea, too, I'm guessing. So, that's what happened. And then I went and talked to the CEO of Subculture. And, like, I explained to him, I'm like, not all armies are like that. And someone needs to make sure that BTS knows that not all the armies are like that. That they have international and US fans that aren't crazy, aren't going to hurt them, are standing behind them, and will do whatever they can to make sure that they're okay. Like, they need to know. And then I was like, and the guy was like listening to me. Like, I started crying. I was so upset. Like, I wasn't like bawling, like my eyes were watery. And like the guy like felt really bad and like gave me a hug and was like, all right, calm down. It's going to be okay. They're going to be okay. They're at their hotel. They're fine. Nothing's going to happen to them. We just didn't want you guys or them to get hurt. Blah, 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 blah. And I was like, all right, like from a business standpoint, I completely understand. But from a fan standpoint, I feel like it's important that they know that. And then this guy who was volunteering was like trying to push me away and everything while I was in the middle of talking to the CEO. I'm like, I'm not trying to hurt him. I'm not being a crazy fangirl. I'm trying to have a conversation and get a better understanding of what's going on. That's it. That's all I was trying to do. That's like all I was trying to do. And he was like, okay, thank you. You need to leave now. And I was like, and then other people, not a bunch of other people, but there was like 2 other girls that wanted to talk to him and ask him something. And he just pushed them away. And some big guy came up and just loudly started talking to the CEO. And I was like, this is freaking ridiculous. Like, the CEO guy seemed nice and everything. But, the people from Best Buy venues seemed to be really, really rude. And it wasn't all of them, it was just some of them. And it was like the younger guys that were like, and like the girl, it was mostly the volunteers, not the people that were getting paid. So I was like, I don't know. So concert ends, everyone leaves. Mind you, when they dismissed the concert, they were like, everyone in VIP that has like that one in the group shot or high touch pass, and everyone in VIP plus go to the back. We're gonna have high touch later. So everyone from the pit goes up to the seats, and mind you, when BTS went off stage, they looked really confused and scared, and like they were running off stage, but they were also like looking and like waving at us like bye, but they looked like upset and scared, and we were like, what the heck is going on? They also looked really confused. So they ended it. Like, they just turned off the lights and everything, and BTS was on stage anymore. We're like, oh, maybe they're changing their clothes again. And then the curtains closed, and everyone was like, what the? So that cheerleader was like, it's over, everyone leave. And I went from my friends, and then they were like, go to the back. So we all went to the back and sat down. We were joking around and playing and having fun and doing, the girls were doing their makeup and their hair and trying to smell nice and everything else. And I was like, I just need to rewrite my happy birthday that was on here and get the eyeliner from up under my eyes is making me look like a panda. So I did that, found a water fountain, like people were like chugging water. We got our water fountain and everything. So we went back and we were sitting there for like half an hour, 45 minutes. And the guy from Subculture was like, hi, I'm the CEO. We have some very important news. Mind you, we all knew at that point because someone was like, everybody check Twitter. And we're like, what? Everyone check Twitter, check the hashtag for TRB and NYC. And one of my friends was like, oh my god, there's a gun threat on Namjoon's life. And I was like, what? And then, yeah, someone tweeted a picture of a gun and said, I just got this today. It's about to go down, R.I.P. Kim Namjoon, and the official hashtags. I was like, it was speechless. Like, I had nothing to say. It was like, people forget that idols aren't these play dolls. They're not holograms or robots or anything. They're people with lives, with a family, with wants and needs and dreams and hopes and a future and a past, for that matter. And I'm like, you put a death threat on Namjoon. Like, it bothered me because my bias is Namjoon for like a multitude of reasons. And it just really, really made me upset. And I'm like, I didn't know what to say. And they're like, yeah, Subculture is gonna cancel High Touch. And I was like, let them cancel High Touch. Like, I was upset, so I was talking a whole bunch of crap. And I was like, let them cancel High Touch. See if I don't read accident. They canceled High Touch. So I went and talked to CEO, blah, 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 blah. So I went out. At this point, I was pissed off that High Touch was canceled. And that the people that were working, like the volunteers that were working the Best Buy Center, were being so freaking rude. I was pissed off at the girl from Canada for, imagine she had her Twitter deleted. The girl from Canada who had the gun threat that ruined it for all the American armies. And I was upset and worried about BTS themselves because, like I said, they're people. They're not much older than me. Like, Jin's probably 3 or 4 years older than me, but Rap Monster and Suga are like, no, Rap Monster's a year older than me, and Suga's like a year or 2 years older than me. Like, I could have if I had lived in, if they had lived in America, or if I lived in Korea, like, we would have gone to school together. We wouldn't have necessarily been in the same class, but we would have gone to school together. That's how close in age I am to most of them. And me, V, and Jimin were all born in the same year. I mean, I was born in July. They were born in September and December. But still, we were all born in the same year. And Jungkook was born in 97, so he's 2 years younger than me. younger, 2 years younger, something like that. And I'm like, I don't really understand. Like, these are teenagers. Like, Jin is an adult. Rat Monster is an adult. Suga is an adult. But Jimin, V, and Jungkook and me, for that matter, we're all basically still kids. Technically, all of them are still kids because they're still in their little bubble for the most part. I feel like they've always been in this little bubble of big hit, does everything and decides everything for you. But with what's been going on with Namjoon, that bubble's been burst, and like, I feel like, yeah, now Namjoon and the rest of them know that what they say and what they do has real, actual consequences. But at the same time, it's kind of like, it's a person. They're people. They're 16 and they're 17 and 19 and 19 and 20 and 22 and 24, 25. They're still people. They're still teenagers, basically. Like, they're still kids. They still have things they want to do, things they want to accomplish, things they want to say, things they want to put out into the world. They have all of these dreams, not for themselves, but for their fans and for the people of the world. Like, they want to make a difference. You can tell that they want to make a difference in the world. Like, whether you believe it or not, that's not anything to do with me. But it's true. They have things that they want to do and want to say and want to be a part of. And if you guys want to teach them a lesson, teach them that they can't say and do certain things, this is not the way to go about it. This is a way to get them disbanded and get them, basically make them really depressed and never want to come to America again, never want to have international concerts again, and never want to do interviews again, and make them all really, really upset and not want to do anything. Make them go inactive. Not like BAP inactive, but like DBSK, TVXQ, like there one day, gone the next kind of thing. And the thing is, it's not like it's just hurting Namjoon. It's hurting Namjoon, it's hurting Suga. It's hurting Namjoon, it's hurting Yoongi, it's hurting Jimin, it's hurting Seokjin, it's hurting Hoseok, it's hurting Taehyung, and it's hurting, who did I forget? I don't know, I always do this. It's hurting all of them, basically. It's not just hurting one person. It's all, but even more than that, it's hurting all of their families. Like all of Jungkook. It's hurting all of their families. It's hurting all the people that are close to them and that know them on a personal level and that know that they're still so young. They still have so much they can put into the world. They have so much they can make a difference for. They have so much that potential. And now, nobody knows what's going to happen. We don't know how they're going to take this. We don't know what they're going to do now. For all we know, they might cancel TRB at this point because they're afraid. They're going to probably heighten security. They might make the pits even farther away from BTS now. And high touches are already gone. Group shots are already gone. Early admission is going to be gone next. VIP stuff is going to be gone next. And if they do have another concert in America, they're not coming back to New York. And if they do come back to New York, then it's going to be, there's no VIP plus. There's going to be no fan to artist interaction allowed, at least for a couple of years, until all of this calms down and blows over. Now, personally, I think BTS themselves needs to clarify something. I think Rat Monster, like, as much as I want to defend him, and as much as I do defend him, because he needs defending. Everyone's jumping up his ass and down his throat. He needs defending. but he also needs to explain exactly what was going through his mind, why he said what he said, why he worded it like he worded it. And then people need to understand about the culture that he comes from and what is an acceptable joke within that culture. But then also, V and J-Hope need to say something. They need to talk about their actual feelings on the situation, if they were actually offended, or if they were like, oh, it's a joke, like, we're not upset by it. Or if they were upset by it, then they need to talk about it. And instead of doing what Big Hit did and just not release anything on it, not release any information on how the actual band members took it. Because everyone, at this point, everyone's assuming things. Everyone's assuming J-Hope and V were hurt. Everyone's assuming Ratman meant it in a negative way. We don't know. For all we know, he could have, and they are. But at the same time, they could have completely just been like, oh, whatever. Because I can guarantee you he said it to them before in Korea, joking around. And they were like, oh, ha, 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 ha. But at the same time, this could have been the first time he brought it up. And they're like, oh, wait, what? But if you guys are going to TRB and you see them, and I'm not saying this makes it right or anything, but freaking Namjoon is the darkest one out of all of them. So if he's saying that he couldn't find J-Hope and V in the dark, for all we know, that could be payback from some inside joke where they all call Namjoon dark. They are like, oh, the black man's here or something. Because we all know he loves rap music, American rap music, which comes from African American culture. We all know that he looks up to like Kanye West and a bunch of other African American rappers, and that he says that he speaks with like a ghetto / black / whatever accent. Like, he's like the blackest Korean in the world. I'm not even, like, I fully 100% think that. But at the same time, he has the darkest skin out of all of them. So, they probably do joke about him being black and about him being, oh, the black man's here, oh, the black man's here, and stuff like that. But they've never done it on TV or in an interview before. So we don't know what happens in their personal lives. So people need to stop jumping down their throats and everything. And Big Hit needs to take responsibility for what happens. And so does BTS to some degree, because it happened within their group. They need to address the situation, because I can guarantee you, as soon as they address the situation, BTS and Big Hit, and I'm not saying Big Hit needs to cover it, I'm saying Big Hit needs to address the situation and what happened and how the members feel. Once they do that, this will calm down a lot. Now, if they had done it when it happened, I can guarantee you these death threats wouldn't have happened. We would have had High Touch and Group Shot yesterday, and the concert would have gone on for another 6 minutes, like it was supposed to. But not even 6 minutes. It's probably supposed to be like closer to like between another 6 to 10 minutes, because they cut 2 songs. They cut Hwangtan Boys and they cut Dope. Like, I feel like Big Hit isn't taking responsibility for what happened, and I don't know if BTS just doesn't know what to do, because I heard from some people, like, when they saw them getting out of the van, like, they were excited. They were probably, like, on a high. Like, super excited, and, like, they were, like, ready to go. And they were, like, running in, and, like, they had smiles on their faces. But when they left, their heads were down, and they just looked scared and frightened and defeated, and like they didn't know what was happening or what to do. Like, they probably didn't know what was happening until they got them out and they got them in their hotel room, and then they probably told them. Like, they were probably like, boys, come here, sit down, I have something to tell you. The manager, and they were like, oh, what's going on, blah, 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 blah. And their manager was probably like, Namjoon has a death threat on his head. Namjoon has had a death threat during the concert, and that's why we got it short. That's most likely what happened. I don't know what they're going to do now. I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know what their feelings are. I hope they know that their armies, the good ones anyways, are behind them, are going to be there for them, don't want them to be hurt, aren't going to try and hurt them, and want them to come back, want them to be safe, want them to stay alive, even if them being safe means they go back to Korea, postpone all of the shows, go back to Korea for a while, address the situation, let the situation blow over, and then come back in a month or 2 months or 3 months or however long it takes to do this, and then continue it. And I mean, my thing is Subculture and Best Buy and Big Hit, it's less their fault that all of this happened, and it's more Namjoon's careless thinking, V and J-Hope's ignoring of the situation afterwards, and all of BTS not addressing it, and Big Hit completely ignoring the fact that it happened. Like, not releasing a statement, not releasing an official or unofficial statement, not letting the boys, or not telling the boys that they need to address it. Like, I don't know. I have no clue. I have no clue what they're gonna do. But the only positive thing that could come from this is that now they choose their words more carefully. But, like, my head is just filled with all the negativity. Rat Monster leaving. BTS disbanding permanently. Like, first they're like, oh, they're just not going to promote for a while. And then Big Hit releases an official statement. Bangtan, Soyeondan disbanded permanently. Rat Monster stops making music. Sugar finishes his mixtape. We've been waiting for this mixtape for like 4 years. Sugar finishes his mixtape. Jimin, I don't know, becomes a model or some random crap like that. Jin gets married and has a family and is never heard from again. Taehyung becomes a comedian because we know he never stopped being him, so they just be like, oh, let's make him a comedian, but gets picked up by like some other company. Jungkook becomes a tattoo artist. J-Hope becomes an underground rapper again. And goes on Show Me the Money, and they're like, Jungho suck. And it's like, isn't that J-Hope from BTS, or what used to be BTS? And he's like, I'm not associated with them anymore. And it's like worse than when Chris and Luhan and now Tao left EXO, because they all forget about each other. Or even worse, they never forget about each other, and the armies never forget about them, and they never forget about the armies. But all of their memories are just overshadowed by this one negative thing. Now, the CEO of Subculture said that he was going to make it up to all of us. All of us armies that went yesterday are like this. They're bullshit. Bull fucking shit. Like, it's just lip service at this point. Like, you're not going to make it up to us, because the only way you can make it up to us is to let us have a high touch, have a fan meeting, and group shots and stuff like that. Like, that's the only thing that can make this right. and we don't have to pay for it. But I'm like, that's not gonna happen. BTS is in too much danger right now for that kind of crap to go on. It's not like they're GOT7 where they're always in America, always in a different country, always doing stuff with their fans. They're BTS. Not saying that GOT7 is better than BTS, and not saying that GOT7's fans are better than ARMY's or anything like that, because I love both groups, but GOT7 has yet to have a real scandal or anything. And I feel like this is BTS's first real big scandal. But the thing is, it's not just a scandal at this point, like it was. But now that they've had their first concert, and that's the other thing, this is their first USA tour, their first stop on their first USA tour, and this is what happens. Like, are you shitting me? Not to mention the fact that the pit was freaking insane. They're probably like these international fans, like, yeah, they go hard, but like, they gonna end up killing each other. Maybe we shouldn't come back here for the safety of them and us. And like, I could really see Big Hit saying that. Like, you're not, like, oh, are we going back to New York? You said we're having a USA tour again. No, you're not going back to New York. But what about the armies that were disappointed last time? Oh, they're just going to be disappointed. Like, we'll send them a signed Polaroid of all of you guys. Are we going to get to sign it? No. Can we send them a letter? No. And Suga's going to be like, like, what are you doing? Like, we need to show them that we're with them. And then Namjoon's going to be like, it's all my fault. And that's probably how he feels now. He's probably like, I put you guys and the armies in danger. I'm so sorry. And he's probably going to disappear off the face of the earth for a while. And like, everyone saw the Twitter pictures from last night and from this morning where they're like, oh, thank you, Big Apple. Oh, thank you, NYC. Thanks for the love. All of that. But you guys know, just like I know, that those shots were taken before they got the news about the death threat. You guys know that even if they were taken after the death threat, that they weren't smiling, that they weren't happy. They might have been thankful for everyone that showed up and sang along and everything, but that they're scared. And as far as I can tell, they're scared, and as many people that surround them, they're alone. So, I'm asking you guys, I'm not going to turn off comments for this video. I'm not going to turn off the comments, but I don't want a whole lot of crazy arguing and fighting in the comments, and I want you guys to understand what's going on. I wanted to tell my side of the story from what I know, from being there and seeing them. Like, I still can't say that I saw them. Like, it still hasn't hit me that I saw BTS live in concert. Like, I was so close to them, I could see Namjoon's sweat rolling into his eyeball, which was really weird. And he was just like, and kept going, and Namjoon not knowing which water bottle was his on stage, so just opening and taking like a drink from all of them. And like I feel like I only saw Rap Monster. Like, I feel like I saw Rap Monster and I saw Suga and like Jungkook. Like, I feel like that's who I saw. I don't feel like I saw BTS. Not that I don't love all of them, like, but that's who I could see from where I was, so I feel like that's who I saw. But it's my birthday today, so what I'm gonna do is take all my pictures off of my phone because I have no space left. So I need to clear out my phone and my camera. So look forward to those on Twitter because I took a lot of pictures with me and like people I met outside. So look forward to that and my retweets, and I'm posting this on both of my pages. So go like,